Now I'd like to introduce again Ted Deutch, who is from the American Jewish Committee. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Joan. It's great to be here. Thanks. It's wonderful to see so many friends here, Assistant Secretary Pyatt, Ambassador, and the leaders from across the Hellenic community here in the United States. I want to just take a brief moment, Joan, to acknowledge, I'll talk about my work in Congress, but I want to acknowledge the relationship that I had with Ambassador Papadopoulou, and I want to congratulate the Prime Minister for his reelection, but Prime Minister Mitsotakis and Foreign Minister Yerapotrides, I think, made excellent decisions in bringing the ambassador back to Greece to serve as Deputy Foreign Minister. I wanted just to acknowledge that, and I know that our current ambassador, Ambassador Tunis, who's doing a wonderful job, is watching what's happening here today as well. So I appreciate the opportunity. You can't have a discussion, a full discussion about business in the Eastern Mediterranean without recognizing the dramatic changes that have happened in the region, in the broader security and energy areas. And it was good to hear my former colleague and good friend, Representative Pappas, talk about that. Eastern Mediterranean is right at, as we all know, at the intersection of one of the most dynamic regions in the world, Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. And the energy finds there and the development of large natural gas fields kicked off a flurry of activity that, in my prior life as a 7-term member of Congress, as someone who was deeply involved in the region, it presented an opportunity to really help bring together the region as a whole. And in recognizing that potential and working with my former colleague, everyone's friend, Gus Bilirakis, we launched the Congressional Hellenic Israel Alliance because we wanted to strengthen the relationships, both the bilateral relationships between each of the countries and really the quadrilateral relationship between Israel, Greece, Cyprus, and the United States, and the important role that would play. We passed the Eastern Mediterranean Security and Energy Partnership Act and the U.S.-Greece Defense and Interparliamentary Partnership Act, legislation that made historic investments in Greece's military, called for the repeal of the embargo on the Republic of Cyprus, and authorized the establishment of the Eastern Mediterranean Energy Center. And now, to have the opportunity to join you here in my new role at American Jewish Committee, an organization that whose Philhellenism goes back decades, really at the urging and under the leadership of my predecessor, David Harris, the opportunity to be here and continue to work on these issues that are so critical to Israel and Greece and Cyprus, and provide such an important place for the United States, both in the security sense and also in the business opportunities that it creates, is a real thrill for me. The 3+1 mechanism, I just wanted to point out, and the unprecedented cooperation between Israel, Greece, Cyprus, and the U.S., the Eastern Med Gas Forum, the Euro-Asia Interconnector, the expansion of diplomatic engagement and economic and military and energy coordination, all of this have put the Eastern Med on the map as an important hub for transportation and for energy, for commerce, and for innovation. There are still, obviously, longstanding challenges. I know those have come up during this conference, and while there are some long-standing security and political challenges that we have to be honest about, I think we can also be incredibly optimistic about the opportunities as we see them going forward. I am honored to be on stage with the commander who will speak to some of the security challenges, but in all of the opportunities that I've had to travel to the region, including a trip to Greece as on my first trip as the CEO of AJC, these issues are front and center for us. I look forward to continuing to work to advance all of these relationships in my new role and with my former colleagues in Congress and with all of you in this room who are so committed to seizing upon the opportunities that exist, not just in the business sense, but really to lift up the Eastern Mediterranean, Greece and Cyprus, and the roles that they play disproportionate to their size in the world and the world economy and in the years ahead. So thanks very much for having me.